Once upon a time, in a peaceful village nestled at the edge of a great forest, there was a secret that only a few knew. Deep within the woods, hidden by thick trees and vines, lay a mystical pond. This was no ordinary pond. It was said to possess the power to grant one wish to anyone who approached it with a pure heart. The villagers spoke of its magic, but few ever ventured to find it, for the journey was long and the forest was wild. One sunny afternoon, a young frog named Phoenix, who lived near the edge of the village, decided to set out on an adventure. Unlike the other frogs who were content to stay close to the pond by the village, Phoenix was curious and eager to discover the truth behind the stories he'd heard from the older frogs. Phoenix wasn't the biggest frog, nor the strongest, but he had a curious spirit and a kind heart. He often felt overlooked by the other animals of the forest, who admired only size and strength. If only I were bigger, stronger, he often thought. Then they'd notice me. His small size made him feel invisible, like he was never quite enough. One day, after hearing another tale about the magical pond, Phoenix made up his mind. He would find it, and if the magic was real, he would wish for something that would make him the biggest and strongest frog in the forest. That would surely earn him the respect and attention he longed for. With his mind set, Phoenix hopped through the forest, his heart racing with excitement. He hopped over streams and squeezed through narrow gaps in the trees. The sun filtered through the canopy above, creating a golden glow on the forest floor. After what felt like hours, Phoenix finally arrived at the edge of a sparkling pond, its surface shimmering like a mirror. The moment Phoenix reached the pond, he felt a strange energy in the air. He paused and looked around, his eyes wide with wonder. As he sat by the water, gazing at the gentle ripples, he heard a soft, melodic voice that seemed to come from the very water itself. "Welcome, young frog," the voice said warmly. "I am the spirit of the magic pond. You have come seeking a wish. But be careful what you wish for wishes are powerful, and they must come from a kind and pure heart." Phoenix's heart beat faster. He had dreamed of this moment, but now that he was here, he felt a little unsure. Still, his longing to be bigger and stronger clouded his thoughts. "I wish to be the biggest and strongest frog in the forest," Phoenix said boldly, his voice echoing slightly in the stillness. The water rippled, and for a moment, everything seemed still. Then, with a soft surge, the pond granted his wish. A glowing light enveloped Phoenix, and before his very eyes, he began to grow. His body stretched, his legs grew long and powerful, and his once soft croak deepened into a thunderous boom. He had become an enormous frog. Phoenix felt a rush of pride as he leaped into the air, his powerful legs sending him soaring. He landed with a tremendous splash, sending ripples across the pond. At first, the other animals in the forest were amazed. The birds perched high in the trees, watching in awe. The squirrels stopped their playful scurrying to gaze at the giant frog. But as the days passed, something unexpected happened. The other animals began to avoid Phoenix. The smaller frogs, who once played with him by the pond, now stayed far away. The birds flew higher to avoid his booming croaks, and the rabbits hopped off in fright at his approach. Phoenix couldn't understand it. "Why are they running away?" he wondered. "I'm the biggest frog now. I should be respected. I should be admired." Feeling lonely and confused, Phoenix hopped back to the pond and sat by its edge, gazing at his reflection in the water. His massive body seemed so out of place in the quiet forest, and yet, there was no one around to appreciate it. As if in response to his thoughts, the voice of the spirit spoke again. "Phoenix, do you see now? Strength and size alone do not earn respect. True greatness lies in kindness, compassion, and understanding. You may have grown in size, but your heart has remained the same. It is your heart that connects you to others." Phoenix sat still, his mind racing. He realized, with a sinking feeling, that in his quest for strength, he had lost what mattered most: his friendships. The other animals didn't fear him because he was strong. They feared him because he had become so different, so distant from the frog he once was. "I see now," Phoenix whispered, his voice heavy with regret. "I was so focused on being big and strong that I forgot what truly matters, being kind, being a friend, and caring for others." The water rippled gently, and the spirit spoke once more. "Would you like to return to the way you were before, Phoenix? True strength lies in the goodness of your heart, and you can find your happiness in that." With a grateful heart, Phoenix nodded. "Yes, please. I wish to return to the way I was." In an instant, Phoenix shrank back down to his original size. He felt lighter, happier, and more content than he had in a long time. He had learned that the magic of the forest didn't come from size or strength, it came from the heart. From that day forward, Phoenix was known not for his size, but for his kindness and his willingness to help others. He spent his days playing with the smaller frogs, sharing stories with the birds, and helping the rabbits build their burrows. The animals of the forest, seeing his gentle nature, came to respect and love him not because he was the biggest, but because he was the kindest. And so, the magic pond continued to grant wishes, but only to those who understood that the truest magic came from within the heart. Phoenix had learned that the best wish of all was the one that made the world around him a better place. And as for the frog, he was never lonely again, for he had discovered that true strength wasn't in size or power, but in the kindness and love shared between friends. And so, the peaceful village and the enchanted forest remained, as magical as ever, with the pond's gentle spirit watching over all who sought its wisdom. Hey, thanks for sticking around until the end. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with some who would love it, and of course, subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to turn on the notifications by clicking the bell, so you're always in the loop. See you next time.